Democrats and the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
Let's discuss the drama. The daytime television landscape has been shaken by one of its most unforeseen controversies so far, and this one is a real surprise. Joy Behar, the experienced co-host of The View, has formally parted ways with the show after a wave of criticism, legal actions, and a social media uproar. But what could push out one of the most vocal and enduring figures in daytime TV? Brace yourselves, because this story is full of controversy, irony, and a lot of finger-pointing. Let's unpack the stunning events and reveal why Joy Behar's departure has sparked a frenzy of rumors.
Trump, I'm stunned and amazed by his new White House spokeswoman today. She's actually the youngest ever in that.
This is where everything started. In a recent episode of The View, a show known for its fierce debates and fiery exchanges, Joy Behar made a comment that shocked everyone. While discussing Karoline Leavitt, the newly appointed White House press secretary during the Trump administration, Behar implied that Leavitt earned her position solely based on her appearance. Yep, you heard that right.
Karoline Leavitt, just 27 years old. Boy, was she giving it to the Trump haters in her first White House.
Ouch. That wasn't merely a comment. It was a plunge straight into the heart of controversy. Now, let's not forget that at only 27, Leavitt is the youngest person to ever hold the position of White House press secretary. Despite her youth, she boasts an impressive resume, having served as communications director for key Republican campaigns and worked in Trump's first term. Yet, rather than acknowledging her accomplishments, Behar reduced her to just her appearance. This remark didn't just create a buzz, it ignited a full-blown firestorm. The reaction was immediate, audience members were stunned, and even Behar's co-hosts seemed visibly uneasy. Alyssa Farah Griffin, a former Trump administration staffer, swiftly intervened, pointing out that it wasn't Leavitt's first job, just her first press briefing. And if you thought the studio reaction was strong, wait until you hear what happened online. Social media erupted with criticism from across the political spectrum. Both supporters and detractors quickly called out the hypocrisy in Behar's remark, especially considering her long-standing image as a champion of feminism and women's rights. One user wrote, "If a Republican had made that comment, they'd be condemned." Another added, "Joy Behar just proved that The View only supports women who share their views."
Something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something.
But the situation didn't end there. Karoline Leavitt wasn't about to let this slide. Rather than just releasing a statement, she took strong action and filed a lawsuit against Behar, accusing her of defamation and character assassination.
You're right.
The legal filing argued that Behar's comments were not only false, but also malicious, aiming to tarnish Leavitt's public image. This lawsuit wasn't just surprising. It was a direct strike at both Behar and ABC, the network behind The View.
Without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that team.
Behind the scenes, turmoil was reportedly unfolding at ABC. Executives were rushing to figure out the best response. Should they issue an apology, suspend Behar, or sever ties with her entirely? Staff at The View were reportedly split, with some supporting Behar, while others quietly acknowledged the situation had spiraled out of control. It's important to note that Behar has often found herself at the center of controversy, but this time, the stakes were much higher. The lawsuit, coupled with intense public criticism, left ABC in a difficult position.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about base?
To make matters worse, rumors began spreading that ABC executives had been holding urgent, behind-the-scenes meetings for days before Behar's departure. Sources inside the network revealed that executives were in full panic mode, with some concerned the lawsuit could turn into a much larger reputational disaster for the network. While ABC has long faced criticism for The View's controversial content, This particular scandal was seen as particularly damaging because of its legal consequences. One insider described the atmosphere at the network as tense and chaotic, with executives carefully navigating the need to balance loyalty to Behar with mounting external pressure to act.
It's not. So first of all, and I have had my objections to the job that Karine Jean-Pierre did, but she worked in politics for 21 years, 5 presidential campaigns, and worked in 2
The tension wasn't confined to the executive level. Staff at The View were reportedly split into 2 factions. Some were staunchly loyal to Behar, arguing that while her comment may have been inappropriate, it didn't warrant such extreme backlash. On the other hand, others believed Behar's remark about Leavitt crossed the line and was entirely indefensible, particularly for someone who presents herself as a champion of women's achievements. An anonymous staffer reportedly told an outlet, "This isn't the first time Joy has gotten us into trouble, but this time it feels like there's no coming back from it." The divide among staff created a tense atmosphere, with rumors swirling about whether other co-hosts might also face consequences from the scandal. To add to the complexity, there was growing concern about ABC's potential legal exposure in the lawsuit. Legal experts quickly began weighing in across various news outlets, debating whether Behar's comments could be considered defamation. Some believed that Leavitt's lawsuit had a strong case, particularly given how direct and personal Behar's remarks were. On the other hand, others pointed out that Leavitt might struggle to prove malice, a critical element in defamation cases involving public figures. In any case, the legal battle ahead is expected to be intricate, with ABC possibly caught in the crossfire. One expert noted that even if the network tries to distance itself from Behar, the fact that they aired her comment could make them partially liable in the eyes of a jury.
Karoline Leavitt is the press secretary at the White House, doing a great job. Such a great job that the ladies of The View feel the green monster coming up.
Meanwhile, Leavitt has stayed firmly in the public eye since the controversy erupted. In an exclusive interview with a conservative news outlet, she reiterated her criticism of Behar, calling the comment not just sexist, but also blatantly unprofessional. Leavitt took the chance to highlight her qualifications, showcasing her resume and accomplishments to prove that her position as press secretary was earned, not merely based on her appearance. This move has only bolstered Leavitt's supporters, with many applauding her composure and backing her decision to defend herself against what they viewed as an unjustified attack. Then came the shocking announcement. ABC officially confirmed that Joy Behar was leaving The View. The timing of the announcement, just days after Leavitt filed her lawsuit, prompted many to question whether this was truly a voluntary departure. Although the network's statement was vague, merely stating that Behar chose to step down and wishing her well, insiders believe ABC executives likely pressured her to leave to safeguard the show's future. Let's face it, The View has had its fair share of struggles, but this scandal may have been one too many. Public reactions to Behar's exit have been mixed, with some celebrating her departure, arguing it was time she faced consequences for her controversial comments. One fan commented, "Maybe they should just shut down ABC altogether. That would fix everything." Another added, "I don't get why that show is still airing, or why it was even created." On the flip side, some longtime The View viewers are mourning the loss of one of the show's most outspoken figures. They believe Behar's exit was due to political pressure, claiming ABC caved to outside influence. Meanwhile, conservative commentators are celebrating her departure as a major win, viewing it as a rare moment of accountability in what they consider a biased media landscape.
Really don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt.
And let's not overlook the irony. Joy Behar has long presented herself as a fierce advocate for women's rights and empowerment, often calling out others for belittling women. Yet, in one moment, she contradicted everything she stood for. This hypocrisy hasn't gone unnoticed, with many pointing out that her comment about Leavitt was exactly the type of behavior she's spent her career criticizing. So, what's next for The View? The show finds itself at a pivotal moment. Joy Behar was a key figure, and her departure creates a significant gap. ABC will have to carefully consider who, if anyone, will fill her role. Will they choose another strong liberal voice or attempt to bring in a more conservative perspective? Regardless, it's clear that the show faces a tough road ahead in rebuilding its public trust and credibility.
Dang, Rowan, I couldn't do that at 27. No nonsense, straight to the point, courage.
For Joy Behar, the road ahead remains unclear. Will she fight the lawsuit to protect her reputation? Or will she quietly step away, solidifying her position as one of the most divisive figures in daytime TV? As for Karoline Leavitt, her choice to sue Behar has undoubtedly boosted her visibility, but it has also thrust her into the eye of a media storm. Will this legal battle help her achieve her goals, or could it ultimately backfire?
But even factoring in that she's a nice-looking lady, I love it that the Liv's attacks on conservatives right now are that we're hot.
What's your opinion? Was ABC's decision to part ways with Joy Behar the right one, or was she unfairly pushed out? Can The View keep going without one of its most controversial hosts? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe. For updates on this ongoing story, the drama is just beginning, so stay tuned for more surprising twists and shocking revelations. See you next time.